Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to Fynix.ai deep dive video. So today we'll be exploring how Fynix.ai can make your coding sessions a lot more um, productive and fun. So it is an AI powered assistant for developers. So what are the core functionalities and purpose? So Phoenix.ai is basically a VS Code extension that integrates AI into your development workflow. So it has got some really nice features. For example, one fix, refactor, complete. So it improves and finishes the code. It also auto-generates unit tests. It can translate your code. For example, if you're coding in, let's say, JavaScript, you can just directly translate it into, for example, Java or let's say C Sharp. It also has a diagram feature for visualization. So, for example, if the code is very complex, or if you're working in a company and you're just starting to understand what the code looks like, this is an awesome feature because you can just ask it to build a diagram and then you can understand the whole code flow and you can visualize that. We also have like AI powered code reviews and natural language terminal. So for the natural language terminal, this is only in the pro model, but this is really exciting because you can just like casually write it in the terminal that I want you to download this thing. You don't need to learn the complex language of the terminal. It is just going to understand that, turn it into the terminal language, and then download whatever you want or like however you want to work around this. This is a very cool feature. In the end, the basic purpose of Phoenix is to boost productivity, reduce bugs, and simplify complex dev tasks. Going forward, let's explore what the target audience is. So, since it is only an extension to Visual Studio Code, you need to learn how to code so that you can utilize the benefits of the AI. So for this, you need to learn like intermediate to advanced level coding, and you should also be familiar with IDEs, Git, and basic debugging requirements. And the target users are software developers, engineers, and DevOps professionals. So the pricing model is here. This is something I've taken away from the website itself. So if it's for the hobby, it is pretty good because it's $0, and then you get a code assistant in VS Studio Code. And then you have 200 requests per month with standard models, and you also get 14-day free pro features and along with the community support. But the pro one is kind of like really exciting because you get all hobby plan features along with unlimited multi-line completions, 500 requests, 10 requests per day with minimum premium models. You also get 15 images upload per month. You get an unlimited AI flow diagram and terminal natural language commands. You also get AI code reviews and editor. So in terms of enterprise, it's just custom. And now let's talk about some key takeaways. So why should you choose Phoenix.ai? It saves time on repeated tasks. It enhances code quality. It is beginner-friendly interface for advanced tasks. And it is also scalable for teams. Thank you so much.
Everyone, this is Gordon. Here I'm going to demonstrate some core features of the AI tool we tested, the Phoenix. Yeah, it's an intelligent programming assistant that helps us to code faster, check for bugs, and so on. Well, let's go through a very simple example first here. So for example, let's say we want to write a basic greeting function. All it does is return something like hello Gordon, hello someone, or whatever when we input a name. So in this VS Code, I have already opened a Python field just like this one, and just need to start by typing to define this function. Yeah, we should define this first. Then on the second line, I start typing message, just like this one, equal to, you can see that the Phoenix try to help us to complete this function. Now we just need to press the tab to use the, yep. Then just return the message. Same step. Yeah, this is a whole function here. So now let's test it. Let's print this function. Maybe grade myself wooden. Yep. And then run this code. We could say that, yeah, the result is hello garden. So even with a tiny example, just like this one, we can see how the things try to help us write code faster by understanding the context. So the next step is code quality checking. Well, let's modify this function and intentionally make a few mistakes, maybe. Just maybe may add an unused variable. Yeah, this variable we won't be using. I don't need it. We could also repeat something, right? For example, repeat this message. Yeah, repeat the same line. So we got a code with two issues. Now we could ask the Fynix to fix it. Sorry. Just a second. Yeah. We could say that Fynix has two issues. For example, the variable is never used, the line assigning message is duplicated. Yeah. So we follow this suggestion, just copy it. Now it's neat and efficient. Well, I think it's like we have a smart assistant watching our code and helping us write better logic. Well, with this simple greeting function, we've seen two really helpful features of Fynix. The first one is code auto complication. The second one is code quality suggestions and error detection. Yeah. These are especially useful for us as a student or beginner developers. It helps us code faster and with few mistakes. That's all. Thanks for watching and listening.
Hello, I'm Alexander Lucas, and I'm going to go over some of the strengths and weaknesses that Fynix.ai has. So all three of the major strengths I'd say, in its opinion, are all to do with their slash commands. So as you can see, I've run the slash new command to create a HTML game based off Flappy Bird. And as you can see, it's created the folders and some files inside of that folder. Now, clicking on this create workspace creates a new instance of VS Code where all the files are already placed inside. This is a major benefit of Phoenix over a lot of other AIs, is as it's built into VS Code, it can simply just create the files all for you automatically, and even run things in terminal to like install React.js if you wanted to do that. Now, here's the one I did in the previous one where I got Phoenix to create a e-commerce site from scratch using that slash new command, and it created all these files and even filled out a lot of these files too. One of the issues it does have here is that it might not actually finish the code itself. If I go to this checkout, as you can see, here's a section where it didn't finish the code, as it just adds boilerplate with the slash new command. However, you can use the slash complete command, which is one of the amazing examples where it pairs well with the slash new command, and you can insert it straight into there, accept it, and it will update that code for the new section. One of the other great examples of a slash command is here is the Flappy Bird game, where if I can select the entire thing and go into here, which give it a second, and use slash diagram, it will create a diagram based off this game, which isn't going to be super in depth because it's only Flappy Bird. However, this is great for visualization techniques as well as documentation if you are creating a much larger app, just so people can have a better understanding of what's going on here. Uh, Three of the limitations I found is that the refactoring and code completion, whilst it allows you to refactor the code, it does not automatically replace the existing text. Let's say I was trying to fix something and it changes code here, skips this function and changes code here. It can't just instantly insert that like I did in the previous example. You're gonna have to copy and paste it into each section. The other issue is working within multiple files. You can only change one file at a time, and you have to go through each file to check where your error is or check if it provided you with boilerplate code that's incomplete. And finally is the lack of in-app execution, which is both a pro and a con because it is in VS Code, so you can execute it straight away. But comparing with something like Claude, if it writes a HTML code, it will give you the code and will also show you a demonstration of what it will look like before you even have to copy and paste that text over. Now, comparing it with something like Claude, I've got this example here of the Flappy Bird game. This one was made by Fynix and this one was made by Claude. Now, here's the one from Fynix, and there was a bit of back and forth because there were a lot of errors in the game. And as you can see, if I start it, um, it's not the best. Every time you click spacebar, the game resets, you go under the screen, and the game keeps going when you should die. Now, I'd probably had 7 to 8 back and forths. However, in comparison, something like Claude, I sent one message, it had an error, and after fixing that one error, it's pretty much got a very good working game, which of course needs a few improvements. However, at least it actually works as intended, and you just need to go and fix it up.
Hi everyone, today I want to introduce the Fynix best use cases. I will introduce the better several aspects. The first of all is the best project types and solutions, and second is the users tab who benefit most, and third one is the real-world use cases. The first of all is the best project types and solutions. Fynix is ideal for the enterprise system like ERP or CRM. It generates modular code and diagram from the natural language with built-in code review and ensure consistency, and perfect for language long-term and table project. And second one, the Fynix integrity with GitHub, GitLab, and other platform to auto-check code quality and every comment or PR. It appears testing code for instant feedback, reducing manual review and development work. And third one, Fynix quickly generates system architecture, code logic, and database structure, making it ideal for MVP development and auto-completion and debugging solutions. A calculatory the development circle for also for solo developers and small terms. It helps start up valuable and launch project faster. And I would introduce the users type who benefit most. First of all is the software development. Fynix offers auto code generation, function completion, and real-time error detection. It's significantly boosting development speed and reducing repetitive tasks. Developers can focus more on logical structures. And the second is the auto generations class diagram and follow charts. System architects can easily visualize and refine system architecture. Its code review tool help identify designing flow earlier. It brings structures and clarity to complex systems. And third one, the Fynix automatically review pooling requirements and appears consistent, quickly check reducing the manual bounded for code reviews. It also generates help documentation for new contributors. CTOs can implement standardized code review and deliveries using Fynix, improving code quality across the board. It helps enforce consistent practices and reduce long-term maintenance cost. And finally, I will introduce the two real-world use cases. The first of all, I'd like to show the simple login web interface. And the second one is the simple cycle script. And that's all. Thank you.
Section is going over how to install Fynix as well as how to use its resources to understand it. So as any other extensions, you just search it up and install it as an extension. And as you can see on my VS Code, I've got this Fynix Code Assistant sidebar. You click on this, you get a prompt to sign in on the Fynix.ai website. And from there you can start using it. That's one of the main benefits of this is it's just inbuilt into VS Code instead of having to have your web browser open or separate app open. Um, some great resources for this start with its prompt library. So as you can see, once I'm on my own account, this is what I met with, and the prompt library is probably their biggest thing here. As you can see, it's got places to start with, such as your introduction, which will run you through why use it, use cases and effective use, such as using one command after another. It's got great things such as front-end performance or complete or even translating, let's say it's written the code in C and you want to change it to Python. Some other great documents here is the prompt engineering. It's got some prompts that have already been written, which seems to get the best use out of the AI itself. So you can just copy these and change it to work with your own project. And lastly is what I've mentioned before, are the slash commands. Um, these are great by themselves, but when you link them one after another, you use slash new and like a slash complete, as I showed in the previous example, it works amazing to start and complete an entire coding project by itself. Finally is the contact us form. Um, it's a bit confusing because on your own dashboard, there's no real contact us page. However, you have to go to their main homepage and then look in company and contact us, and then you can write a request here.